This year is entitled Moshe's Ascendancy to Leadership. We see 5 events that Moshe was involved in before God chose him for the leadership. Number 1, he killed a Mitzri when he was attacking the Jew. Number 2, Jew versus Jew. He saved one Jew from another. Number 3, he ran away and he saved Benot Yitro from the evil shepherds. Number 4, he was the shepherd himself. Number 5, he went ahead and turned to see the burning bush and try to understand what was going on. Then and only then God revealed himself to him. And the question is, can we understand the progression? So it could be the following. He went ahead and saved the Jew. Great act. But it's very nice to have Rahmanis when you see a Jew being a victim from the evil oppressor, David versus Goliath. So that's one thing. It's very nice. What about when you have 2 Jews? There's no victim. It's just 2 people not being nice to each other. 2 Jews having a machlokas, a fight, an argument. There too he's involved. Number 3, okay, it's very nice. He has compassion on his fellow Jews. Moshe recently, according to Ramban, found out he was a Jew. What about another human being? Not a Jew. We see that he cares about another human being also when he goes ahead and saves the daughters of Yitro. Okay, it's very nice, another human being. Moshe is human, he has compassion on fellow humans. What about the animal kingdom? It's also part of God's world. So we see that as well. The Midrashim talk about Moshe's amazing compassion for the animals, how he took care of them, and was really concerned for their welfare. All these 4 examples are great. Love of the Jew as a victim, love of a Jew and fellow Jew, love of fellow mankind, and taking care of the animals as well. One question remains. Why is Moshe, or anyone for that matter, taking care of fellow human beings and animals? If it's just kind of feeling, animal rights activists, compassion for all mankind, that could be very nice, very, very limited. The real, true meaning is when it's part of a full divine picture. When a person believes in God and knows there's a divine will and wants to follow that divine will. And when do we see that? When Moshe sees the bush and he's trying to understand what's going on. There's an anomaly here. It doesn't make sense. The laws of nature are just suspended here. I never saw anything like this. I need to make sense of it. According to Sforno, there was spiritual significance. God was implying that he relates to the Jewish suffering. Whatever message Moshe was seeking out, whether it's just understand the laws of nature and science, or understand some divine message, more than that, Moshe wanted to know God's world, what's going on. And that's the core of everything. It is once we connect to God, connect to God's will, and then we follow God's will. So God's will is to take care of fellow Jew. God's will is to take care of mankind. God's will is to take care of the animal kingdom. We have to take care of everyone. But once it's following God's will, then everything is in the right perspective. Let's say one thing has to give to another. Well, that's God's will. So it's a question of, I love dogs so much, I love animals so much, but right now the dogs are jeopardizing people's lives. They're instilling fear in them. We had an incident in Ramat Beit Shemesh where dogs were instilling fear and biting people. Well, if we could go ahead and safely put away the dogs and take care of them that way, that's great. But the only choice would be to kill the dogs. If that would be the only choice, there's nothing to talk about. God's will is to save a human being over an animal. What if it's humans, a love of humans and mankind? That's great. But wait a second. What if it's a love of Jew versus a love of a human? Question of Israel. So if we love mankind and humans, Jews and everyone because of divine will, well, divine will says that Jews belong in Eretz Yisrael is given to us. And we are compassionate, we take care of the Gentiles, but there is a priority. And we want the Gentiles to live safely and comfortably, but not in our land. If it means one or the other. If everyone could live together according to halachic standards, that's great. But if it's one or the other, the Torah said there's an order of precedence. And there's Baruch Hashem, places all around the world for everyone to live. And those who want to live in Eretz Yisrael, there are conditions. But it's all based on divine will. God, we are connected to Hashem, we're connected to his Ratzon, and then he revealed his will through the Torah. And the Torah tells us how to take care of fellow human beings, when to help them, when to kill them. Terrorists need to be killed. That's a simple pshat in the halacha. Oh, but I have such compassion on mankind. Yes, you have compassion. And when compassion is appropriate, that's wonderful. When is it appropriate? when it's God's will. So that's why the first 4 events needed to be followed by the 5th event of Moshe seeking out God and understanding. He turned to the bush. That represented his search for knowledge and for Ratzon Hashem understanding. Then and only then God says, now I see. All your compassion and your love is part of a bigger picture. Now you're ready to begin the next chapter in your life. Shalom.